Okay. All right. So let's just settle into our meditation posture. And check your legs and make sure that they're in a comfortable position. Just remember, if you do have your feet on the floor, don't cross your legs, have them flat on the floor. Hips slightly raised, so your coccyx is slightly raised and your hips are tilted forward. And let's just lengthen our spine. We can just imagine our spine is as pearls of light, strung by a string of light, very gently lengthening us. So we're not kind of forcing ourselves to sit up. This is very gentle lengthening of the spine. Hands in the meditation mudra, head slightly tipped forward. Eyes down, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, relax the jaw. Now let's just go to the crown of our head, very mindfully, just relax the scalp on the crown of the head. And then move down to the forehead, the temples, the back of the eye, the nose, cheeks, the ears, the mouth. Relax the jaw again. Then go back and relax the scalp, the back of the head, back of the neck, shoulders. Relax your throat, arms, hands. Just very gently resting, right hand in the left, thumbs touching. Relax your legs, feet, toes. And let's just relax our bellies. We just hold quite a bit of tension there. And let's go back and relax our back as much as you can. And this back. Try and let go of any tension. And then bring your attention to the sensation of the cool air as you're breathing in, and as you're breathing out, the air is slightly warmer as it flows out through the nostrils. As we think, here we are again, doing our Vajrasattva practice together, trying to work on our minds, purify all our negative karma so we don't suffer in the future, so we don't continue to harm others and therefore continue to harm ourselves, so that we can be of benefit to all sentient beings. So let's just focus on our breath for a moment. Any thoughts that arise, just allow them to be there. Try not to follow the story of the thought that's coming with the thoughts. Try not to judge the thoughts. And if there's any emotions arising, you can just let them go. Steady your breathing. Just breathing in and breathing out. So let's just remind ourselves again, there is no negativity that we cannot purify. There's nothing that we've done that is so awful and so terrible that we cannot purify it. So this brings us to the first of the 4 opponent powers, which is regret. And again, we sincerely regret from the depths of our heart anything we've done to harm any living being, whether it was today, this week, this year, this life, and all the things we've done in this life we can't remember in our past and in our past lives. So just bring to mind a specific action of our body, our speech, and then in general just regret any harmful actions that we have done. And just to remind ourselves, the logic of regret is based on this concept of karma. So giving it that we're experiencing everything, positive things and negative things due to our past karma, our past actions. We don't want to experience suffering in the future. So we know from the things that are happening to us now that we don't like, that we're experiencing, how unpleasant they are. So we don't want to experience this in the future. And then we also want to regret from the depths of our heart any vows that we may have broken, any commitments that we may just have skipped, ignored, decided we were maybe too tired that particular day. Bodhisattva vows, tantric vows, pradamoksha vows. Regret our anger and our attachment and grasping, which are the cause of why we harm others. So what can I do? Whom can I turn to? So this brings us to the power of reliance. So here the first thing is refuge. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha. We see the Buddha in this case as the doctor who has these methods that we can use to heal ourselves, to purify. So we're not asking the Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're relying upon Vajrasattva's methods. So now visualize Guru Vajrasattva on the crown of our head. And you can imagine he's our guru, our lama, our teacher, manifesting in this aspect for our benefit. So you can imagine the mind of your lama, your guru. And he's made of brilliant, blissful, radiant, white light, translucent light, like a hologram. And so he's sitting about 2 inches above the crown of our head, facing the same direction as us, cross-legged on a lotus. His face is brilliant, radiant and beautiful, very peaceful, has these lotus-like eyes, looking at us with a wonderful kind of way of being pleased to see us, really, really delighted that we're here doing this practice. He knows all the things that we've done, some things that we can't even bear to think about ourselves. And he has no judgment. Just accept us for who we are. His mouth is a very sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath, the right. His left is holding a bell, which represents wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, representing the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these, symbolizing enlightenment itself. Infinite wisdom, infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we just remember this section here on compassion. So we need to rely on sentient beings to develop compassion. So in this case, the very beings we have harmed and who have harmed us. So we develop compassion for them. Think in particular maybe of somebody or something, some maybe sentient being you have harmed recently, someone or some sentient being, some person you've harmed in the past, and then generally any sentient beings we may have harmed since beginningless time. And then slightly more difficult, those sentient beings who have harmed us. We have compassion for them because they will suffer as a result of the harm that they have done. So I must purify for their sake as well. So here we come to the mantra, the power of remedy, which is the third opponent power. All right, so the first one is a purification of our body. So this is any actions of body that we have done to harm by either killing, stealing, or sexual misconduct. So just visualize Guru Vajrasattva from his heart, compassionately sending this blissful, radiant, white nectar coming from his heart. It arcs around and enters into us through the crown of our head, pouring into us, filling us completely. It keeps coming and coming, and it forces out of our lower orifices all the harm we have ever done to any living being with our body as this kind of thick, black, yucky, inky liquid. And it disappears into space and not one atom left. And so as we recite the mantra, we can visualize this. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mepayata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mepayata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mepayata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. I just feel completely delighted that any harm that you have done to any sentient being with our body is completely purified, and think there's no way we could do anything now but be of benefit to others with our body. So this next one is our purification of the speech. So just imagine from Guru Vajrasattva's heart, very compassionately sending out this blissful, radiant nectar beams pouring into us, arcing around and pouring to us to the crown of our head, and filling us up completely from the bottom all the way up to the top of our body, to the top of our head. And out of the top of our head comes all this kind of yucky, mucky stuff, which is all the negativities of our speech, all the harm that we've done by lying, by speaking harsh words to people, nasty words to people, by talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to try and agree with us about those people. And this gossiping and rabbiting on about nothing, boring people to death. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta me bawa sawasiti me yata sawa kama sutta me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mami mutsa vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So now just imagine that all our negativities of our speech, all our gossip, all our harsh speech and our lying and talking about others behind their back, all completely purified. And now think there's nothing that we couldn't do to be of benefit to others with our speech from now on. So the next one, purification of our mind. So visualize Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately, again, sending powerful beams of this time laser light from his heart into us through our crown, filling us completely, all the atoms, all the muscles, the veins, the blood, all our tiny, tiny cells, completely imbued with all this light. So just imagine as this light hits our heart, just as when you walk into a room and switch on a light, the darkness is dispelled, all the negativities of our mind completely dispelled, all our anger, disappointment, jealousy, attachment, grasping, all our neediness, all our ignorance about the Dharma, not understanding things, completely dispelled as we visualize this and recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So now again, be completely delighted that all of our delusions, which are the source of our suffering and the source of the cause of why we harm others, completely dispelled, completely purified. And think there's no space in our heart for anything now but love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So the next one, the last one, is we purify even the subtlest imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. So this in a way is like this is kind of a getting rid of the smell of garlic in a jar, which is getting rid of the imprints. So there's absolutely nothing left at all. So this visualization, we try and do all the previous 3 visualizations at the same time. Light coming in and dispelling all the negativities of the body from as thick, black, yucky, oily stuff from the lower orifices of the body. Then the nectar light coming in, dispelling all the negativities of our speech from the upper part of the body, and then light blasting us all instantly, getting rid of all the negativities of the mind. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempeyata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida mebowa, sutokaya mebowa, supokaya mebowa, anarakta mebowa, sawasidi mepeyata sawa kama sutame, sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpeyata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Ma Sattva Ahum Pe. Now let's just feel we're completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in our mind streams. Even the subtlest imprints and the obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So just feel really delighted and joyful. So the next one is the fourth opponent power, is the power of resolve. So such a crucial one. And this is the determination not to harm with our body, our speech, and our mind again. And without this, we're going to keep repeating it. So we need somehow to make a promise to ourselves that we're going to try and break these habits of ours. And we try not to do anything too ambitious. So I'm not going to do this ever again for the rest of my life. But just we take something specific that we can work on, maybe today or tomorrow or this week. This week I'm just going to maybe promise not to gossip about so-and-so for 8 hours every day. Something like that, something really, really simple, so we don't lie to ourselves about what we think we might be able to do. And then generally we make a vow to ourselves, make an effort to try to avoid doing things that are negative, that harm others. So this determination not to do again kind of reminds us and gives us the strength to change. So I think, just to conclude, Guru Vajrasattva is completely delighted with us. So he dissolves into light and melts into us, absorbing into us through the crown of our head. And we think that Guru Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, my Lama's body, speech and mind, and my body, speech and mind are all the same thing. Union, oneness, as Lama Yeshe would say. So let's just remember emptiness. As Lama Zopa Rinpoche says, to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So however much we understand emptiness, try and think all phenomena do not exist the way we think they do. They're not concrete, fixed, do not exist from their own side. So finally, we'll dedicate the merit, all the positive energy that we have created this evening in just this very short practice. So effective. How amazing. So that anyone we know who might be suffering right now, and that could be someone that's harmed us. Maybe they harmed us because they are suffering themselves. Anyone we know who is sick or dying, who has passed recently and also maybe many years ago, dedicate for them. We'll do the 4 immeasurables. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were to abide in equanimity, free from the closeness of attachment and the distance of hatred. May they abide in equanimity. I myself will cause them to abide in equanimity. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Immeasurable loving kindness. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were to achieve Buddhahood. May they achieve Buddhahood. I myself will cause them to achieve Buddhahood. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. And immeasurable compassion. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they be free from suffering and its causes. I myself will cause them to be free from suffering and its causes. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. There's one more. Measurable joyfulness. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were never separated from the happiness of high rebirth and liberation. May they never be separated from these. I myself will cause them never to be separated from these. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Let's just do one of these verses. As a result of the 3 times merits of myself and others, may bodhicitta, from which the happiness of all sentient beings comes, be generated in the minds of self and other sentient beings without delay, even for 1 second, and that which has been generated may it increase. So let's just go to the long life prayers. His Holiness the Dalai Lama. The wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. The Lama Zopa Rinpoche. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serves as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplish magnificent prayers honoring the 3 jewels, savor of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. And for Lama Usul. Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And may everybody here live long too.